All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we're going to talk some UFOs today, all right? We've got some crazy stuff to go over, UFOs, because guess what, guys? Apparently, Canada and the United States shot a UFO down. They are now publicly acknowledging that. We have photographs of the UFO that was shot down. So that sounds like pretty big news to me, dude. You know what I mean? Sounds like something we should probably cover, and we are absolutely going to do that. Now, if we have time, I also want to show you this this underwater structure that was discovered off of the coast of Malibu, and then Google deleted it. Okay? Very, very weird story. All right, so if we have time, we're going to go over that. All right, but we are going to start right here. Okay? So I've been showing you guys some Mouthy Buddha stuff recently. All right, and so I'm going to continue that particular trend because, like I've told you guys forever. All right, the number one without a close second, okay, UFO experience that has bulletproof credibility is the Phoenix Lights, all right? And no one has ever covered the Phoenix Lights better than Mouthy Buddha, okay? So I'm going to show you now. He has an entire documentary about that particular incident, but I'm going to show you a short clip of that in one of his other videos. Just so that if you are even moderately interested in the unexplained or unexplainable, like this is the best story ever. Like if I've answered this question a million times, like if you could go back in time to any moment in history, where would you go? I'm actually curious what you guys would say to that. Like if you could go back in time and witness something, like something that you know happened in world history, what would it be? And like for me, I'm going back to March of 1997, and I want to see that. I want to see that UFO, dude. I want to go back to the day where I know for 100% sure I'm going to be able to see the biggest, most credible, potentially alien craft ever fly over the Arizona basin so slow that every single person saw it, including the governor. But anyway, so we're going to look at that. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that. I would appreciate that very much. We're handshaking, guys, Also, like the video. Very helpful. So let's get started, and then, like I said, we'll finish up with the, the headline story, which is that apparently the United States and Canada shot down a UFO. Pretty big story there. But let's start here. All right, let's go. Oh, by the way, you can watch this on Dauntless Dialogue, best subscription that I have. Okay, if you love this kind of stuff, Dauntless Dialogue, go subscribe. You will be able to watch. I can't even tell you how many of these Mouthy Buddha videos they have. It's endless.
Abnormal weather phenomena and a host of other benign things. This is a fact. It's also a fact that the remaining 5% or so are true unknowns. It doesn't mean they're alien. It means they're true unknowns.
Thank you. Okay. That's the part that is crazy to me, is that when people try to debunk all this stuff, and this is also why I love Mouthy Buddha. They're like, so what? They're aliens? I don't know what they are, man. How the hell would I know what they are? Okay, I'm telling you that you cannot explain this coming up story with, oh yeah, it's probably just like human technology. It's like, yeah, right, dude.
This question assumes we humans are privy to a highway of activity, but to call UFO sightings rare is an understatement. These events are truly once in 100 lifetimes. There is no highway of activity, but rather a low number of isolated incidents, like the Phoenix Lights, where honest analysis and intense scrutiny and skepticism will push you away from the skeptical consensus. For instance, if a father tells me he saw a mile-wide, triangular-shaped craft glide silently over his home, I urge psychiatry. When his children and wife say they saw it too, I urge family therapy. When the neighbors across the street say they saw the same thing and describe it in the same way, I begin to wonder if they're trying to trick me and this is all an elaborate joke. When more families on the other side of town, then police officers, then school teachers, then pilots, then the governor say they too also saw a mile-wide V-shaped object glide silently over their homes, it's now on me to make a decision. Are tens of thousands of people suffering from a mass delusion? Or did they see a true unknown?
I was kind of in awe, really,
How big?
Just want to make sure that you guys are reading the bottom left corner right there. Governor of Arizona, who had been in the Air Force, is who this guy is, okay?
Everything I've ever seen in the sky.
Like an aircraft carrier in the sky?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Is it really the skeptical take to dismiss all eyewitness accounts as mass delusion? When did being skeptical become synonymous with finding ordinary conclusions? Could it be possible that sometimes, paradoxically, the simplest explanation is the more perplexing one? Or I could say it like this: could it be possible that sometimes the simplest explanation is to say, I don't know what it was?
Probably that, right? Now let's get into more details about the actual incident itself. All right, so buckle up. Here we go, okay? And for the record, guys, just for the record, okay, you want a lesson in YouTube? You guys want a lesson in how to do YouTube correctly, okay? This is a totally real story about the Canada and America shooting down a UFO. But I knew I could use that story to get as many people as possible to watch this. This is a 1,000 times more interesting story. It's just because it happened in 1997, no one's going to watch it, okay? Like if I just go, whoa, shocking UFO thing from 1997, they're going to be like, okay, that happened in 1997. Okay, well, yeah, U.S. and Canada definitely say that they shot down a UFO. Very interesting. But check this out, okay? Buckle up. Here are the details of this case.
Reported at 6:55 p.m., a man in Henderson, Nevada witnessed an object in the shape of a V with 6 large lights pass over him from the northwest. 8:15 p.m., former police officer Tom Chavez witnessed a cluster of 5 orange lights, consisting of 4 lights together with a 5th light seemingly trailing the other 4.
They didn't glare. They did not emit like a beam, like a floodlight, like landing aircraft lamp. There seemed to be some depth to them.
Calls began to flood police stations and media offices across multiple districts, including Chino Valley, Prescott Valley, Dewey, Cords Junction, Wickenburg, Cave Creek, and many other communities to the north and west of Phoenix. Then, this happened.
Wait, where? There's another one too. Where? Oh, look at that. There's another one. No, we're just excited. We're not. They keep coming. Wait, whoa, look at them.
Now, keep in mind here, okay, this happened and everyone captured this on video because a massive mile-wide craft had silently floated over the Arizona basin, an hour previously. And so everyone is outside filming the sky. Like they're just waiting. They're, oh my God, is it going to come back? Is it going to come back? So everyone's ready for this one. So there's a billion videos of this one. But people always get this part confused with the triangle craft that went over. And so like when they are like, oh yeah, they were just flares. They're like, okay, that's not, even if these are flares, which they might be, I have no idea. That's not the part of this that is the big story. It's the triangle craft that flew, not was stationary, flew over, and tens of thousands of people saw it. And it was a mile wide. Okay, let's continue.
But what some misunderstand is this video shows the second event. The majority of sightings actually occurred before this in the state of Nevada and Arizona. The Public Affairs Office at Luke Air Force Base announced that their personnel had investigated these lights, establishing they were flares launched from an A-10 Warthog. But miles of controversy exists over this claim, so much so that 3 years after the sighting, the Arizona National Guard staged a demonstration to quell the claims made from those who kept saying what they saw was not flares. Judge for yourself in this side-by-side comparison.
Huh.
But ultimately,
I don't know what to make of that. I have no idea. I don't care about this one. Like, that's the thing, is like, people who really know this story, we don't care about this one. This part's irrelevant. Like, if this was some kind of like government way of explaining away the gigantic craft that they were like, oh shit, secrets out, guys, I mean, who knows, dude? Maybe we have some absolutely incredible technology that we've had for decades, And it's supposed to have some kind of cloaking mechanism so no one could see it. And that was broken that night, you know, and it was like, oh shit, everyone's calling in, they can see us. And so they tried to do something to like explain it. Who knows, dude? Or maybe it was an alien cruise ship, you know? They're like, hey, you want to go see the craziest fucks in the galaxy? These guys, when they figured out, okay, when these guys figured out that they could split the atom, okay, and they could provide endless amounts of energy to the globe, instead of doing that, they decided to take that technology and use it to create bombs, which they instantaneously started shooting at each other. And only when the groups all had them were they like, oh, maybe we shouldn't use these, you know? Maybe we shouldn't use these. You're like, what do you mean maybe you shouldn't use these? You already used them. It's all, yeah, but that was when we were the only ones who had them, you know? Like, yeah, you know, like we had them, but you didn't have them. So we really don't want to get hit with one of those. You're all, but you were fine dropping them on women and children. I mean, they weren't our women and children. You're all, but women and children, though. I mean, we did it from the sky. You can't see that far down. I mean, are they even really there? You're like, yes, they're 100% really there. I don't know. You know, won us the war. You're like, did it though? You know, Russia declared war on Japan, right? Like they knew they were done. You gave them no chance to surrender on that. You dropped the bombs fast to make sure the rest of the world could see you had the bomb. Well, you know, I mean, there was a whole thing of establishing global superpower status. And you're like, how'd that go? They're all, well, we got into the nuclear arms race and now there are so many nukes that we could blanket the earth 100,000 times or whatever. Nice. You know, the aliens are like, I don't really even understand this story. You're all, they're fucking crazy, man. Let's go do a cruise ship over. It's like, look down there. That's them. That's those guys.
Whether we're looking at flares or not, holds no bearing on the thousands of sightings that happened previously, reporting a V-shaped craft moving slowly and quietly through the entire state of Arizona. This leads many to claim three possibilities in regards to these lights. One being that they are not flares. Two being if they are flares, it's simply a random coincidence of timing. Or three, someone was likely instructed to do it on purpose in order to provide an explanation for this.
We were telling ourselves not to blink.
It was very close to the ground. It was just like floating over the housetops.
The first thing that struck me is that they were just in a V-shaped formation. Well, it's at night, and guys wouldn't have been flying in a V-shaped formation, in a VIC. We'd call it a VIC. So now I'm looking at 5 lights passing overhead silently at a very slow rate. And it also occurred to me that they were flying too slow to stay in the air if it was an aircraft.
It must have been around 10-ish. And I'm looking off towards the north. Coming in directly at me are these 3 enormous lights, and they are moving incredibly slow.
When somebody in our group said, oh my gosh, what is that up above? We all looked up at the same time and saw this amazing, huge, dark, silent object.
My emotion was that of just kind of wonderment and trying to figure out, what am I looking at? What am I seeing here?
Purportedly, the craft moved south across the entire state of Arizona. Witnesses claim whatever it was totally quiet.
There was absolutely no sound at all.
Just 3 beautiful lights coming towards us. And it seemed to move effortlessly.
10,000 witnesses. More. Okay? I just say 10,000 because if that's not enough for you, like, you have a problem, okay? Like, this is the thing. What is your explanation for this if you think it was not something that is not known, right? Like, these drones, it's like, they're every other story that you hear, you know, Rendlesham Forest is also very, very compelling, but you're like, it just kind of slips through your fingers. You're like, okay, what's something I can really sink my teeth into? How about a mile-wide craft flying too slow to fly, dead silent, over a basin where 40-year pilots are telling you it's not anything that we made. No humans made this. I can't explain it. And like, you look up in the sky and try to imagine what a mile-wide craft looks like. You know, it's outlandish. And by the way, let me say something else. You see how good Mouthy Buddhist documentaries are? I've only showed you, like 4 minutes of one of them? He covers the entire. No one has covered Pizzagate better than him, okay? And he does it like this. where he's exceptional at figuring out what you can prove, what you can't, and just being able to say, like, I don't know, man. But what is that? Like, what is this? Dauntless Dialogue, Mouthy Buddha. I cannot stress enough. Okay. You just go on, just literally search in their search bar, Mouthy Buddha, and just watch every single thing that he's ever made and say goodbye to the next 2 months. And then, you will be very happy that you did.
Just glided right over.
This was one solid object, one craft, one big, large boomerang.
Everybody that called me said the same thing. It was huge, it was slow, it was low, it was totally silent. They could see some lights, somewhere between 5 and 9 lights on it at any given time.
Claiming the lights had abnormal characteristics.
It was an orangish amber light, and it was so rich and lustrous, it's almost as if the objects seemed to be comprised of the light itself.
They were more like glowing, gaseous globes.
There's no flaring. They're like a ball. On the video, they flicker, they're white, they're much smaller. But nonetheless, the formations themselves are compelling.
When it got directly over my head, and I mean, I'm talking dead center here, I was right underneath this thing. It was like there was no filament in this thing. They appear to be in a canister. There was light swimming around in this shape or form.
And they weren't beaming down like landing lights. They were just big balls of light, but very pretty.
And the craft was said to be massive, with some gauging it to be more than a mile wide.
We could not see the whole object from front to back, from side to side. It was so big.
I would gauge this object to be several football fields. I mean, like a mile, maybe more than a mile, maybe even 2 miles. It was huge.
I put my hand up to where the nose of the craft was, and I took my other arm out to where the end of the wing was, and it was well over 30 inches. And I said to my wife at the time, I said, that's a mile long.
It was coming over the mountain, and it was like almost as wide as one of the humps. And it was very low.
It's coming across the sky.
This part right here is from a documentary called I Know What I Saw that James Fox did. Also exceptional. You could probably find this one on YouTube. I Know What I Saw. He did 2 documentaries that cover this and other incredible UFO stuff. One is called I Know What I Saw, and the other one is called Out of the Blue. Both phenomenal. Okay? Phenomenal.
And as it's moving, it's blocking and unblocking the stars. There is actually a shape.
The object we saw, if we opened up a newspaper, you could not block out the object that we saw.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. If you opened up a newspaper, you couldn't block it out. Right in front of your face. Bananas, dude. Okay, so now I want to show you, that is literally this video of Mouthy Buddha is 22 and a half minutes. I showed you like 6 minutes of it, okay? And he has about like, I don't even know, 50 videos that are all this long about every topic that you've ever, like, if you like my channel, okay, I've watched every single one of his videos, so I promise we have the same interests. You will be, nothing I could possibly give you could make you more grateful to me than that I turned you on to Mouthy Buddha and Dauntless Dialogue, okay? I cannot stress that enough. There's a bunch of other good stuff on Dauntless Dialogue also, but I mean, I can't tell you everything at once. Mouthy Buddha, go get caught up. He's the best documentarian of all time. Okay, now let's look at this story right here. So look at this, okay? So an official photo has been released of the UAP shot down by an American F-22 in 2023. It's incredibly strange and raises more questions about it than answers. Check it out, all right? So this is the story. Canadian government releases, actually, let me see how we look on the thing. Let me move this over a little bit. All right, so Canadian government releases photo of UAP shot down in 2023. Canadian government released a photo of the unknown UFO, and it looks like a white circle with a part cut out. What was it? It remains unknown. They're saying that it was a suspected balloon. Okay, I mean, maybe. Okay, so here it is, right? So Canada has unveiled the first ever image of the UFO down during the joint USA-Canada mission in February 2023. The grainy video shows a circular white object shot by U.S. Air Force F-22 fighter. this all breaks it down. Okay, so Wednesday, they're trying to say that this is a Chinese balloon. Wait, are they saying that this is the Chinese balloon case? Okay, here we go. Here's the picture, dude. I don't know, man. You tell me, guys. Does that look like a balloon? Why do they always say they're balloons, dude? Like, why? Why do they always say they're balloons? In Roswell, they said the Roswell thing was a balloon. They said it was a spy. Whoa. First, it was a weather balloon. Then it was a spy balloon. That's why we lied, guys, because, it was a classified spy balloon. You're all, okay, well, like, is that true, though? Yes, it is true. It was a classified spy balloon. I don't know. I honestly have not researched that much into Roswell itself because it's another one of those ones that's like, it's all word of mouth, dude. And there's not enough mouths for me to feel confident about it. That's just what it is, dude. Like, you wanted to convince me. I told you guys, my default setting is bullshit unless you prove me otherwise. Like, you watch the Phoenix Lights one, you're all, oh, hey, you think they're lying? Hey, you think they're all lying, dude? Really? The Phoenix Lights people are all lying. Get the fuck out of here, man. But, yeah, so it says that, I wanted to show this one too, dude. Wait, where did it go? Where did we go? Oh, okay, here. Yeah, so this one, hey, so we have satellites in space that can photograph a registration plate on a vehicle, but there wasn't a camera that could get a clear pic of the object. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's really funny, okay? And let me tell you, that I know for sure. I'll tell you, okay, so I've said this a million times. I get into it with the flat earthers all the time about this because I'm like, guys, the earth is not flat. Okay, I work for the largest private satellite company in the world when I still worked in tech. Okay, they imaged every inch of the earth at least once a day, okay? And then they had a second constellation of satellite. So we had our low definition one that covers the entire earth, covers, literally every inch of the earth is photographed at least once a day from the low definition stuff. Then we have the high definition stuff. We actually bought that from Google. And you have to actually, move the satellites and point them to take specific pictures, but the pictures are way more clear. So, and those are at the maximum allowed resolution for private companies. Okay. Well, what do you mean? The highest definition. It's like, well, private companies are only allowed to do it to here. And you're all, well, what does that mean? You're all, well, the military has stuff that is way better than that. And those are pretty good too. So when I asked them, I'm like, so what definition does the military have? And they're like, well, the Hubble telescope. And I'm like, yeah, they're all, imagine if you just turned it around and pointed it at Earth. And I'm like, oh shit. Like they're taking pictures of planets that are like light years away and they're like in lower Earth orbit. And you just turn it around. It's like, hey, take a picture of that guy's eyelash. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, you can just never, ever somehow, like we have those imaging the Earth all the time. So hey, we don't know what that thing is. It's like, oh, I don't know. Gosh, how could we get a good picture of it? Who knows? We've got pictures of that. Okay, so I also wanted to show you guys this, and then we'll get out of here. Okay, listen to this story.
Well, there's always the question of like what's going on off the coast, and I'm sure you're aware of this one. We actually talked about it the other day, but we never found it. There's a structure that's off of Malibu in the deep water that was available on Google Maps.
Was a structure.
And now it's blurred out.
Yep.
But it looked like there's openings in it. There's a top that's flat. It looks like
a base.
Looks like a base.
Looks like a base.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys exactly what they're talking about after they're done.
If
now it doesn't.
Now it just looks like blurry water.
Yeah, like why does it look different now? Like what's going on?
With a gun to my head, all the weird stuff is in the ocean. It's not from another planet.
Really?
No, I don't know. Who knows? But it makes.
I agree with him. And I talked about this weekend also, where it's like there are fossils that are ocean fossils on Mount Everest. Okay. Mount Everest was underwater at one point. What does that tell you? It means like the stories of the pole shifts have to be true. And so if the poles shift and the oceans shift, then what that means is there could have been This whole, I mean, like the Earth, you understand how much land is like above seawater versus how much land may have been above seawater at previous times during the Earth's lifespan? So like, what I'm saying is, I put gum in my mouth. It's like, this is very hard to talk while I'm doing this. Anyway, what I'm saying is like, you could have had entire civilizations more advanced than ours. And then the poles start shifting and they're like, oh shit, things start going underwater. And they basically prepare for that. And their civilizations end up underwater, right? And we would never know. Do you have any idea how tiny the percentage of the ocean is that we have explored? So it could be that. And they've developed technology. They can come out and they can like observe us up here. And they're like, woo, these guys are fucking crazy. We don't want to interact with them because they might just send nuclear bombs down to blow us up or whatever. You know what I mean? Or could be advanced civilization from the future, other dimensions, other planets. They come and they observe us and they're like, oh, we can hide in the ocean because we have technology that just cuts right through water. Like water is the same as air for us in terms of our craft. So you just go down there and chill. Who knows, right? But here's what they're talking about, okay? This is what it looked like before they now deleted it. It's like gone. I mean, it's pretty nuts, dude. It's pretty nuts. And now you can't see that anymore. Like they like blurred it out. That's the part that's so shady. You know? It's not the, why does Google keep deleting these order from an outside source? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you guys can't see that. This person say, so this is a survey. It says, it's not the only time they've done this. Why does Google keep deleting these discoveries on Google Maps and Earth? 1, to avoid panic. 2, to end conspiracies. 3, order from outside source. Or 4, other. And most people said order from an outside source. So anyway, that's enough for today. You guys are the best. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Go find Mouthy Buddha. You're welcome. If you're too cheap to subscribe, you'll be able to find some of them on BitChute. But I would highly suggest Dauntless Dialogue. It's worth the money. I love you guys. Bye-bye.